Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of the Karmotrine Lounge. I'm your host, Cherry.
And I'm your co-host, Eyeball. We have a very special episode today, don't we, Cherry?
Well, yes, we do, Eyeball. The
I
thing
think.
that... Oh,
You go on. You go on.
okay. What I was about to say is, this is a topic that we've discussed about, like, a lot of times in person.
Oh yeah, it's a very near and dear place to our hearts. It's RPG Maker games,
Mm-hmm.
and if anyone's unfamiliar, RPG Maker is exactly what it sounds like. It's a little program that indie developers or whoever can use to make little RPG games or any kind of game for that matter with a baseline um, as an RPG. But as we'll get into later, the games can turn into a lot more than that. Isn't that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I've stumbled across my fair share of shitty RPG Maker games when I was younger. Whether that
Oh, they're the
be...
bad ones, yeah.
Yeah. Whether that be one that I'm just going to talk about for, like, 30 seconds, which is the Kanye West Quest.
Kanye Quest.
Yeah.
That's like a conspiracy theory thing, isn't it?
No, it's just like a little flash game that it was just a shit post of like Kanye West is on a Kanye quest.
Oh, I don't think so. I think there's more digging to do with that. Kanye Quest has like some weird ties to like some weird conspiracies, I swear.
Yeah.
I watched a video on it a while ago, I think.
Point is, it was just really weird.
It was. It turned into this big whole like pyramid thing. Maybe the Illuminati, I'm not sure. It was a big deal.
The Illumis Yeezy.
Some terrible thing like that, yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm.
let's try to discuss like more serious ones.
Oh, serious ones.
Like
All
what
right.
I mean, like they're not like complete shit posts. Like they can have like shit post topics and stuff like that, but not be, of course, Kanye
I, I
Quest.
I can start off then because did you know that the Lisa games were actually RPG Maker
I
games?
did. There.
Yeah, Lisa, the painful, was it there the hopeful and the joyful or something? Maybe that was a DLC. It's a
Yeah.
big envelope to unpack.
Hmm.
But God, it's yeah, Lisa, it's a sad little, not even little, it's a sad game
It's a
about
sad series.
series game. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's like the apocalypse and you play as I can't remember the main character's name
Brad.
now. Brad?
Yeah, it's Brad.
Brad, yeah, and he's looking for his daughter,
His
Buddy, I
yeah,
think.
buddy.
That's in the main one that you can find
Yeah.
on Steam. That's the
There is of
painful.
course the prequel one, Lisa the Hopeful, I think it was.
Yeah,
Where
that
you,
was a depressing little run through, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. It's actually a very solid little game. The painful is that
Mhm.
is. I'd highly recommend it. I've owned it for like a few years, but I haven't actually fully dug into it yet. I just know that I really want to when I get the time.
I've watched a couple playthroughs of it and story explanations.
I bet those were a few hours long.
Oh, yes, they were.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't really have much to say on it. I'll give it a shot. I guess a lot of the games here that we're going to be talking about, you'll be able to find somehow, whether it be through on Steam, through all the ports and things like that, or with through enough digging.
Mhm.
I definitely recommend most of the ones we're going to talk about. I'm hoping, as long as Cherry here didn't bring anything too, awful to the table.
I brought like potentially two awful things, but
Oh,
they're
wonderful, good,
awful with passion.
good. I like hearing that. What
Um,
else we got?
I
Well, I
want
guess
to
we got
talk about AI Oni, which is
Aoni.
yeah,
Yeah,
Aoni, which is one that I grew up with.
that's a little bit in the spooky category, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, maybe not these days, but I remember when that first came out too. The YouTubers were playing it, getting their good kick out of it, screaming and all that.
I remember loving watching PewDiePie play it back in the old days.
Oh, what was that? It was like 2012, like
Oh, it was
20
even before that, like
earlier than that.
2000, like 8 or 9.
Oh God, 2009.
Hmm. That's
What
what
a
age
different
we're
time.
talking about.
Well, yeah, a lot of these RPG Maker games really got their kick around that time, right when the internet was taking off.
Kind of
But
like how nowadays our RPG Maker games is just Fortnite.
pretty much more like the new RPG Maker games are the Unity games
Yeah,
because RPG Maker is the little sprite based development kit and Unity is the 3D based development kit. So
yeah, yeah.
everyone wants 3D.
Aoni is a story about a bunch of kids who go into the ghost house or whatever, where they
Yeah,
see this purple demon, the Oni,
yeah.
and the
He's
whole
got the big
game,
face.
yeah, he has a weird awkward face.
Yeah.
But I love him. He's my
He was
precious
in all the
boy.
thumbnails and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. Um, but yeah, it introduced me to like a good sense of like the abstract horror because
Yeah, I guess
it's not just like a man in like a ski mask with a knife.
it
It's
was a big purple monster.
yeah, it's something that you want to run away from because he's big and purple and scary.
I mean, sure, at the time, I don't know if I were to go back and play it now. I don't know if it would really, you know,
No,
make me shit my pants or anything, but it would definitely remind me of a better time.
yeah,
Or is that yeah, better time? Yeah, I'll say better time
yeah,
confidently.
some nostalgia. We could use some escape.
Yeah, of course.
I also wanted to quickly mention that it did get an anime adaptation.
Was it any good?
Eh,
About as good as it can be? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and the production did not do justice to the Oni, of course. He
It's
looked
kind of hard to
really
make him look
off.
like that. I mean, he always kind of looked like that.
But he looked better, which made him look worse, if that makes any
Exactly.
sense.
Well, his scariness was that he was like abstract
Deformed
and
and stuff.
deformed and awful looking, right? You don't want
Yeah,
him to look any better.
yeah, because he's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
All right, what else we got here then? Oh, you remember, or if you heard about it, One Shot?
Ooh, I have not. Could you
One
explain it?
Shot. Yeah, yeah. It's a little. I don't know too much about it because it's again I have a bunch of backlog games and One Shot's one of them. It's a game where you play as this cute little. I think it's a cat girl, not in the traditional sense, but a literal like a
Like a cat.
yeah like a cat, and I think she has to. I know very little about. I was hoping you did honestly, but I remember the whole concept was this was a free game back in the day. Um, where you would download it and you would have one shot through the game, and if you messed up, it like hard coded somewhere and like put something in your PC so that you could never play it again. Or you would get one shot to like help this cat girl like complete her quest.
I could never handle a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was super cool. It was short at the time, but then they got like a rebranding, and now it's on Steam for like $10 or something.
I
And you
imagine
don't.
that you can replay it now.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, good. I
But
might check it out after this.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was a very interesting concept. It's very, it's very ballsy to just do that. Just, you got one shot, you know?
What I thought was like if you lost, you just got malware, and I was like, oh no.
That's game. No, 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 no. It was, yeah, I don't know. I unfortunately, yeah, I don't really know much about it. I just wanted to bring it up because it's a little bit older, has a legacy, and I think people should definitely check it out.
Hmm.
Still holds up well from what I know.
Yeah. Speaking about one with a legacy and one that you're pretty passionate about,
Oh
let's just
well.
talk about Yume Nikki.
You mean Nikki? All right, we
Yeah.
can get into that already. Sure, that was that. I had a specific section for you, made Nikki, and it's in its little run through.
I mean, like we could talk about it later, but
Oh, we could talk about it
yeah,
now. It's fine.
okay,
Sure. For anyone who doesn't know, which is actually a lot of people,
yeah,
Yume
surprisingly,
Nikki is Japanese for dream diary, and it's about essentially this girl. Her name is Marutsuki, and she's like a neat girl or a shut-in. And the game is essentially about her going to bed and like walking and experiencing like her dreams and just kind of going through this like world and figuring it out or trying to, I guess, because it's really nonsensical.
like a dream.
It is like a dream, but it's quite the fever dream, honestly, because the things in that game that you see, like I don't know, I don't really dream of those all the time.
I
But
mean, we have some weird dreams with our friends.
I guess so. But I mean, I don't know. It's like a exploration based psychological thriller almost. I would struggle to call it horror. It's more like I don't know, it's exploratory horror. I don't really have a term for it. It's a very unique little game because the only thing you do is walk around and find effects, they call them, in the dream world, and they do, stupid things like they'll put you on a bicycle or turn your head into a lamp or give you a knife. And it's
Or
just,
make you do a funny dance.
yeah, like they're just nonsensical things.
Mhm.
And that was 2002, and it went quiet for a long time. Not the fandom, of course, but the creator. I can't remember his name now because no one knows anything about the creator or anything. Like they don't. He's never no online presence, no nothing.
I feel like
You know,
that's going to be a recurring theme with
kind
this.
of. But I mean, this guy, like he literally, they like we don't even know anything. They don't do anything. And apparently, when they remade Yume Nikki into like a 3D game, they got his approval somehow. Which I mean, you honestly, people don't even know if that's true because no one's ever met the guy. He doesn't talk to anyone or anything.
For all we know, he could have just been dead the whole time.
That's what everyone speculated, honestly.
Mhm.
Um,
Can I tell the audience what the wonderful name of this sequel slash reboot is?
yeah, yeah, Dream Diary.
Yeah, it's Yuminiki Dream Diary. In
Yeah,
other
which is
words,
the same thing twice. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Dream
Dream Diary,
Diary, Dream
basically.
Diary.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the 3D one. It
I heard
it
mixed
tried
things.
something. Definitely mixed things, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll always remember, the original and just like running around seeing
Well, not running that
what.
much. You
Well, oh
you
yeah, you're on the
walk,
bike mostly. Yeah, bike,
biking
walk,
around,
both of them.
just observing. Because in this
Well,
game, there
the
is no real death or objective other than the
when
ones
you
that you
wake
make
up,
yourself. Yeah.
you get reset and wake up. No, it's the 3D one is a new one because it's trying to, send it off and make other people and like a newer generation experience it.
Even though it does one thing that I don't like about it, from what I heard,
What's that? What's that?
it makes it more of like a game.
Yeah, it is. It does. It's linear.
Yeah.
It has levels and things like that, which is understandable because if they release like just a 3D remake of Yume Nikki, like the original, I don't know if it would catch on at all.
hmm
Like a lot of people don't even know the original Yume Nikki is on Steam. Actually, it's free.
Yeah.
It's on there. I mean, I'm fine with that, sure. Why not?
You just pop it in, have some fun, gaze at the horror, then pop out.
Yeah, basically, that's what it amounts to. I mean, I'm not the only one that got really entranced in Yume Nikki because the fandom. Now that's something else. The fan games, Yume Nikki fan games, are a big topic because there's so many of them
Yeah.
of random qualities, like Yume Tuki, which was the original sequel that a bunch of the fans got together and made, which was it was something. It was definitely something. Honestly haven't got around to it at all, but it was uh it was a collaboration project that kind of stepped in the footprints of what the original set to offer, and I think that's cool,
hmm
right? Because it's like
Fans
just the
putting their
fans that all get
passion. Yeah.
together. Yeah,
It's like
like
Sonic
that's
Mania.
cool. It's exactly like Sonic Mania, except no production value, just the value of the fans.
And no Blue Hedgehog.
Exactly. And that also leads me into to Dot Flow, which is the only fan game I'm knowledgeable about because it's have you ever heard of Dot Flow?
I have not. I
Oh
did
yeah,
only like a little bit on Yuminiki, which is just Yuminiki and the Unity
in the sequel.
remake. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good you got me here because I know quite a bit about it. Dot Flow is it's definitely based on Yume Nikki, but it's almost distanced because it steps away from the surreal aspect of Yume Nikki and turns towards like the horror and the gore kind of aspect, to be honest. And it's something completely different. Like you're still in a room, you still go to bed. Well, actually, you go into a computer in this one, and you go around in the mind dungeons or whatever you want to call them. And like Dot Flow just has these more horrific kind of aspects to it that are genuinely unsettling compared to Yume Nikki's kind of like weird stuff like Uboa that happened like once in a blue moon. Dot Flow's a lot more full with it. No, I don't want to say too much about it. All I know is that if you're gonna try that one out, you gotta buckle in pretty well for it and get ready. Not to like shit your pants or anything, but like it's definitely unsettling. And high recommendation from me. If you like Yume Nikki at all, you gotta check out Dot Flow. It's really all I got for Yume Nikki.
Mhm.
Kind of a
And
tangent, but
if I might talk about something, I'm gonna continue with the idea of fan games
right.
and bring up my favorite shitpost game, which got a bunch of sequels.
Oh
Five
yeah.
Nights at Fuckboys.
That is an RPG Maker game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes. All right. I
Inhale my dong, you enraged balloon child.
It's Enragement Child.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I remember from that.
I just made
This,
notes about it just because of how much the insults just get to me now.
well, I mean, it was at the peak of that Five Nights at Freddy's fandom, humor where everyone was tired of it. So like, let's make a game that makes fun of it,
Yeah.
and they did. I mean, this is all you. You brought this up.
Yeah.
I can't help you with this.
So in this version of the game, you play as Freddy Fuckboy.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and he's just on an adventure to smoke weed and get bitches.
If I remember correctly, it is his quest for debauchery.
Yeah,
I think
it's his
is
fall from
exactly what you're doing.
grace.
Not his fault. He's never in
He's
grace. He's
never in
just a
grace.
monster.
And you get the original cast on your side as like party members, but they all have their own corrupted like stupid goals.
Yeah,
Like if I recall, Chica the chicken, um, is just horny.
or of course she is.
Yeah.
Of course she is. It's the world we live in now.
Foxy is gay.
That's no different from what it is, I thought.
No, he's just gay. He's just like, hey, look at his friend Freddy. Oh my god, not
Jesus.
this shit again. Yeah, it's just a stupid game for stupid people like me.
I'll one up you with stupid games if we're gonna play that game. 'Cause
Okay,
I know you know about this one.
I
Yeah.
probably will.
Oh yeah, Toilet in
I
Wonderland.
have that one.
Of course you fucking have that one. Toilet in Wonderland.
Fucking Michael Jackson.
It was MJ. Oh, it was such a mess. It's so absurd that I don't even know where to begin. It's this like when you mix two colors of Play-Doh together, like that obviously don't need to go together, and you just get this sickly brown color.
Yeah,
Like that's the kind of like we're working that sickly brown color of like RPG where it's everything is just put together, mushed together, and it's awful. You're on a quest to find
laxatives.
laxatives so that you
Because you
can
need to
take the
take
shit that
it.
ends the world. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's I don't even want to honestly toilet in Wonderland. I just want to bring up and know that it's funny if you just let yourself go and you just enjoy the ride,
Hmm. It's
and you
good
should
if
play
you
it.
have the humor sense that I do, which is
Stay with a
monkey
dumb
brain.
sense of humor. Yeah, monkey brain.
Or I'm like, crab.
Oh God, no! Seriously, like I don't know what else to say about Toilet in Wonderland besides it's dumb, but it's kind of funny because it'll catch you off guard.
Yeah.
It's everything just comes together in this big
Mhm.
garbage pile of enjoyment in quotation marks.
Yeah. I wonder if I can spoil like or mention one thing from the game that I love as well.
Yeah, yeah, go for it. Give it
The
just the one.
Mario level.
Everyone, the famous Mario scene. If they hadn't heard of Toilet in Wonderland, they had heard of the Mario scene where hundreds of little Marios come and try and kill you,
Yeah.
chase you out of a house.
Because like
It's
usually with these types of games, like or any kind of like fan game, whenever Mario's involved, he's always like the good guy and stuff like that.
he's absolutely evil in this
Yeah,
one.
and this one he's out for blood.
God,
Especially
the
like the
Mario scene.
Mario has entered the chat.
I'll never forget that. You walk into a house and that's the only a text box shows up. Mario has entered the
Let's
chat. And
go.
then and then you get hunted down.
And it actually
Oh,
like the intro to that is literally AI Oni, which I completely forgot until now.
oh my God, you're right.
Ooh, what a stupid
No,
game.
Play Toilet in Wonderland. If you like get drunk, do something and play Toilet in
Drink
Wonderland because
responsibly and play it.
it's stupid. It's so dumb, but just
Hmm.
like let go and have fun.
Should I make one more stupid game and then
Oh
we'll
yeah,
talk
if you
about.
got stupid games, keep going because
Yeah,
I'm all out of stupid games
I
and I got
have
this more
one
serious
more,
games.
and this is the one that I've been dying to talk about, which
Okay.
is the Mega Man sprite game,
Oh yes, the Mega Man sprite key.
which uses real sprites from Mega Man.
Except they're edited.
No, they're
Like
real.
don't make it don't trick people. The
No,
Mega
that's literally
Man's
what it says in the files.
I know.
They would
That's
never
what it
lie to
says.
us. They're the creators.
I don't know anything about this except for that the game is a massive like joke. So
uh,
go off on toilet go off on Mega Man here.
you're just letting your little stupid son talk about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm not gonna stop you. Like
So this follows the titular Mega Man, well known for his love of basketball, as we all know and love.
of course.
Um, every time he speaks, he says what?
Well, I thought it was
Yeah,
anytime
anytime.
he is addressed by anything,
Yeah,
he
no,
always
like the
responds as
first thing
what.
he'll say is what?
Yes. What?
No capitalization, no punctuation, just all lowercase what. And it follows the adventures of him and his brother Zero.
Is that his name
Yeah,
in it? I thought they gave him some dumb name.
no. I think like they all like Uncle Proto is like the funny one.
Oh, Proto.
He's
God,
he's
the name.
wheelchair bound,
Yeah,
and
yes, I remember.
he has like the oppression, and yeah, it's really stupid. I love it, and yeah, you just collect some basketballs
Yeah,
to save the world.
in contrast to Toilet in Wonderland, I don't know if I want people to play the Mega Man Sprite game.
I somewhat do.
Of
It had
course
two
you.
games, which is the first one and the Christmas special, where it then just parodies Evangelion.
Or Sega for Evangelion. What else would they go? Oh my god.
And
It's
yeah,
Mega Man.
it's really stupid. I love it, and I love fucking Mega Man's quips to Quick Man, because
I
Quick Man
guess
is just about speed. He's like, "Hey, Mega Man, look how quick I can go." He's like, Fastest at being a prick, that is."
I guess we should mention that the Mega Man Sprite game is
It's
based off
on
the
the
Mega
Mega
Man
Man
Sprite
Sprite comic.
comic, which
Yeah.
is literally the same thing as the game, except just in comic form.
It's always 3 panels.
Yes.
The only amount you need. Yeah.
Maybe for a story like that.
Uh,
No.
I think that's all I wanted to talk about. It's my favorite thing to bring up just because of how stupid it is.
Oh yeah. Maybe everyone can get a kick out of just the sheer mental fortitude you need to play the Mega Man Sprite comic. I
For
remember
that
the one.
one, just eat bricks of salt.
No, I remember specifically in that game is that if you have to walk on the path to leave the city or something,
Yeah, you have to wait till you're
and
in the desert area.
if you walk off the path, you'd get the bad ending. If you take one step off of the path, you're on the grass and the police come and they arrest you.
Yeah.
It's like a linear. Oh god.
Good thing the game is only like an hour long.
So it's a giant garbage file. They knew what they were doing. The entire Mega Man Sprite comic is that. But I mean, if you want to talk about a less stinky garbage pile, one that's more formed into something, got to talk about Hilix, Hilix, whatever you want to call
Oh
it.
yeah, that game.
Hilix, yeah, that started as an RPG. I think it still might be on RPG Maker because they recently got a second one after years.
Yeah.
Quite
I
a
have
wait.
not played it, but I've always wanted to play it.
It's like $2 on Steam. Well, the first one is. The second one's a little bit more expensive because they kind of upped the ante, but it's this claymation monstrosity of a game that
But it's
just
like a
has
beautiful monstrosity to it.
it's art. It's art in the most literal sense of like it's trying to tell us something, but even the game doesn't know because all the NPCs talk with procedurally generated garbage. Like no one knows anything. It's just like you wake up, you go touch your TV, it gives you magical powers, and you go and try and kill the Moon King Gibby. Like
That's his name?
his name is Gibby, the Moon King. Yes, yes. And then you go upstairs, get the burrito out of your toilet as a healing item, go to the burrito trees outside, get some more, and then go and try and make your way there while meeting all the faces. Main character looks like a half moon except on its side, so it's like kind of horned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if you've seen Helix, you'd know it's surreal.
Yeah.
It's all
If you know,
claymation.
you just know. And now you
Exactly.
know.
Now you know. Well, I don't know. Helix, it kind of flew under the radar, but I've caught myself guiltily listening to the soundtrack for the second game a few more times than I'd like to admit because it
Mhm.
has this weird like surfer guitar mixed with like this like droning like psychedelic rock. Like it's a fever dream. Yeah, don't take acid or anything and play Helix because you'll end up like seizing out or something.
I believe with
'Cause-
most of these games don't take any
well,
drugs.
first of all, kids don't do drugs in general.
Don't do
But
drugs, or you'll go to hell before you die.
exactly, you'll go to hell before you die. But if you're, a responsible, adult partaking in that recreationally, maybe don't play Helix.
Mhm.
Stick to something else that'll definitely not trip you up or anything like off, for example,
Ooh.
because that one's completely safe with psychedelics. There's nothing weird about that one, right?
Hmm.
I
That's
don't know anything about off. I know that it
I love
existed.
off.
I know that you play as a baseball kid, and I know
No,
there's
his
this
name's the
weird
batter.
Cheshire cat. I know he's a baseball batter and his weird cat, and
Yeah.
that's all I got with off.
Yeah.
That's all I know. You know way more.
There's also the masked kid. Who starts off with like a unique mask and then like slowly like progresses to wear the Cheshire's mask.
Oh yeah,
Because like the Cheshire is kind of like God in this game.
yeah. It's old. It's an old game, right?
Hmm.
Most of these games we're talking about are old. Like
Yeah.
what was off was like 2003, wasn't it, or was it like 2006,
2000 like 6 7 ish,
six,
like
seven, eight?
very early days. Um
That's still like fucking like 16 years ago.
yeah.
So maybe not
uh
that much,
yeah.
but it feels like it. No, go on. Tell everyone about Off and this
So
monochrome adventure.
Off is a really like wonderfully drawn game, and by wonderful I mean like everything, like all the enemies and stuff have like this weird like drawn in your school book way of drawn.
Yeah, it looks like a doodle.
Yeah,
All of it. The art assets are
it
very
looks
nice because
crude,
they're yeah. That's the
but
intention though.
it's charmingly crude.
Yeah.
So there's like light puzzles, and in this one there's actual combat.
Yeah,
Um,
not just RPG Maker combat.
yeah, like you get these thing called spirits to help you out, which
The
are these like,
rings, right?
yeah, the rings.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you mostly like your main form is the bat because you
The
are
bat.
the batter.
Yeah.
And you go through a bunch of worlds that signify a bunch of different like um I guess it's like ids or like other things in the
It
human mind. Like your
it's
greed
like the
section.
ego, the super ego, and the id and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It definitely has some weird stuff going on in it that's supposed to make you think.
Hmm.
I know it's a story, like we go there for like the story to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All I know is that I absolutely love the battle theme, which is called Peppered Steak.
peppered steak.
Yep.
I'll have to give it a listen. I haven't heard it, I don't think.
It starts off very slow and then it just goes completely off.
I
Off.
see what you did there.
Yeah.
Puns won't be tolerated.
And I don't really want to spoil this one because even though
Yeah,
it's
don't
like
do
the
that.
oldest one, it's one that I sometimes go back to and I'm like, I appreciate what it did
It
for
didn't get a Steam release, did it?
it sadly did not.
No,
You have to
it's easy enough
download
to
it.
find though.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of ports. I've played it on my Mac.
Exactly, easy to find. Go find off.
Hmm.
It definitely
Speaking of
something.
speaking about off, there was a game inspired by it called Suits,
Oh,
the
I had that right under
businessman
off in my
RPG.
list. Suits. It's oh yeah, suits.
It's more funny than off.
It takes that doodle aesthetic, except they go in a different direction rather than surreal. They go for like comedic.
Bleak. Yeah, bleak.
bleak, comedic. It's you're in your suits is in you're in a business that's running the world in this like monochrome, like bleak world where like everything's an office.
There are next to no women except for plants
Yep, plants are women.
and one grandma, but she's just
She
there.
doesn't count.
Yeah, she's an old lady.
I haven't played Suits either. I just know that it's quite something.
I remember like watching one of my friends play it back in the day for a
It's
little bit.
it's it's absolutely filled
Stupid,
with stupid, but
fun,
like
stupid.
what is it? It's more like it knows its theme very well. It
Hmm.
does what it's trying to do very well. The art is kind of rough, but it was made to be that way,
Hmm.
and it's just yeah. I think there's a reference to Off in Suits, isn't
There's
there?
like, yeah, you've it literally faced the batter.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah. It's
Um, you also fight Sheldon
Oh yeah, you
from
do.
the large explosion theorem.
Yeah, the large explosion theorem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where it's
Oh
the
my
parody of the
god.
Big Bang Theory, and he's just literally Sheldon Cooper in a turtle shell.
Exactly.
Also,
No.
loan sharks and dinosaurs.
Yeah, they like loan sharks are literal sharks that are giving you loans. Like they know, like it's a kind of a joke game, but
Hmm.
if you pay attention to it a little bit, there's definitely more to see.
Yeah,
Play both of those. Play
yeah.
Suits and Off if you're at all interested in these little RPG.
I'd
They're not even that
recommend,
long.
depending on your feelings, like if you want like stupidness, but for like fun stupidness, Suits is the way to go.
Yeah,
But if you want like a story with like very like weird ideas, try Off.
yeah. Go for surreal or comedy.
Hmm.
But no, they're good. They're a little dated, but I think they still hold up perfectly fine.
Hmm.
I would call them classics of the genre. But if you really want to go into classics of the genre, like you gotta turn to the RPG horror scene. And you brought it up
Dun,
earlier with
dun,
Aoni, but
dun.
that may have been Grandpa, but they started getting more refined.
Yeah, I
They
think I have like a couple of them, but just
Oh, I
because,
got a bunch.
yeah,
I've got
I
I've
know
got a
you
bunch
love
here because
horror.
that's what I dabbled in with RPG stuff here.
Mhm. Which is kind of ironic, seeing how I am the person who loves Halloween the most.
Exactly. I mean, I enjoy Halloween, but it was never not my favorite. Actually, it might be. I'm not much of a holiday man, but point stands. RPG horrors. You got. I mean, I guess the first one to bring up would be. I don't know if it's the oldest, but the Witch's House.
Ooh,
You
I
know anything
remember
about the
that
Witch's
one.
House? Yeah, that was one of the first ones. Like a puzzle and horror kind of. It seems a little cheap these days, right? Because the horror is just, oh, if you do something wrong, you die in some gruesome way.
Hmm. But
But I
like
mean,
this was like one of the pioneers of it.
it actually got a remake on Steam now. I think it's called like The Witch's House MV or something, and
Music
it's
video.
just no, it's just like an upscale with better art assets, I think, and a different ending or something. But no, it's very classic, and it has some pretty good puzzles. But it set the groundwork for a bunch of other RPG Maker games to really set the stage and get good. Like
Mad Father.
Mad Father. Yeah, I have that Mad Father, which is
Kind of
that
the
was actually
same.
kind of the same, but it was one of the first. That was the first one that I think I experienced, and I was like, "Well, this is kind of neat."
Hmm. Especially since like, aren't you a daughter to like a mad scientist?
Yeah, yeah, you're a mad scientist daughter, and as the science experiments get out of hand, and like
Hmm.
monsters and zombies and stuff start running around the house, and
So you're not
you got to
only running away
uncover the
from
plot.
experiments, you're also running away from your father
Exactly.
because
Because there's
you're a
some
free
there's some
subject.
scandals. Yeah, there's some scandals going on there, and who knows what's going on. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if any of the RPG horror games like would be worth a play. Like Witch's House, you could if you wanted to. Mad Father is kind of dated, but it also has a Steam port.
Hmm.
Um, it's more like I don't know. It was more of its time, but it's definitely like I would buy it just to have it because it's a good little run back to
I
how
would
things
say
were.
if it's cheap and near Halloween, then give it a try if you feel
Yeah,
nostalgic.
why not?
Kind of like how my
Well,
tradition is watching Trick or Treat.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. There's also Mizao, which is another little Japanese RPG Maker game. That was It was very similar to Mad Father, except it was more in a school, and you deal with like a curse of some girl that got bullied, and it has like all these plots in these RPG Maker games are really deep, which is why I don't want to go into them for too long because I'll start, I'll go into them for hours here. But point is that it's like you gotta solve out way, figure out what happened to this girl and what the curse is, and all that. It's kind of like if you remember Corpse Party, which actually started out as an RPG Maker game beforehand.
And then
Um,
became a bigger game and then an anime.
Mainstream, yeah, like I think it got ported on the PSP and stuff like that. I got an anime. Corpse Party is the one that everyone knows because
Yeah.
it's awful. It's like torture porn, like just gore everywhere, and it's like
I
if
enjoy
you're
the
right,
first beginnings of it and then it just derails completely.
it derails absolutely. But it's it was good. Like a curse school event, and then people running around trying to survive and get out. It's kind of enjoyable for that. I remember watching PewDiePie fucking play this one.
Mhm.
I think it was one of the newer versions. It was way back in the day.
Yeah.
It was yeah, it was a little messed up. And by little, I mean it was a lot of messed up.
Yeah. Especially
Definitely not for kids. 'Cause, with the RPG platform, you really gotta figure out how you can do horror properly aside from just jump scares or anything like that. So a lot of them resort to gore.
yeah.
Like all three of the games, or four even that I've mentioned so far, do the gore thing a lot because it's like that's all they got.
Yeah.
You're playing as a little in all four of the games you're playing as like a schoolgirl running around. What's more horrific than seeing her just get completely disemboweled, by some creature or event.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As well I remember like the reason why I didn't really like Corpse Party, like even though like some things clicked with me, was because like I saw somebody who I absolutely hate playing it like in the middle of class.
Yeah, of course. That would just ruin it for you. Corpse Party. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has some merit to offer. I think all the games still do. But I wouldn't be telling you to go rush and play Corpse Party because it's a little bit macabre, as they would say.
Yeah, it's a bit too much
It's,
torture porn.
yeah, it's kind of like Saw. It's hard to recommend the Saw movies to people because you're like,
Oh, I recommend the Saw movies to anyone.
if you're into that, like sure, but like I wouldn't go and tell everyone I know to do and to partake of it.
hmm let's
Well,
cleanse the palate slightly with like this is still a horror game, but it's not just gore this time.
mhm.
I want to talk about Dreaming Mary.
I had that on like a USB. I had that on a USB that I had for high school as a game I would take around and try and play. I had that.
I,
What? Yeah, it was
yeah,
RPG Maker. I didn't have it on my list because I didn't really have much to say about it,
mhm.
honestly. But
From what I remember, it's this like really like impressive story where it's like you begin as like a princess and you're just in like a cozy little like area where everything's nice and happy.
mhm.
And yeah, then just fucking derails in 3 seconds when you go to sleep
Yep.
in your dream.
It's it's a little I remember it's like the color pink really manifests with that game. It's very very girly kind of style.
Yeah.
And you wake up and you go and you meet, or I guess you wake up in your dream and you go and meet all your like animal friends, I think.
hmm
And you got to do little puzzles and things like that. It's short,
Yeah.
I remember.
I remember
Um
there's a way for you to never go into like the evil zone. Like you
is
could
there?
just completely skip over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's really hard to do from what I heard.
It's been years since I've even thought about that game, so it's really fuzzy. I just remember that it was definitely very unique. Aside, it wasn't
hmm
like all the other RPG Maker games that like use the engine and everything, but like the art asset. The art is beautiful in that game.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Most of the art in actually these RPG Maker games with the portraits that they draw are pretty good.
hmm With the exception of Five Nights at Fuckboys.
Well, Toilet in Wonderland too, if we're gonna be like that, but that's just how it is.
Yeah. I another thing I want to mention about Dreaming Mary is I really like the radio in the background.
Oh yeah, it like
It's
talks
she's
to
just
you, doesn't it?
improv, yeah.
Yeah,
Like she's like,
yeah.
"Hello, this is Dreaming Mary Radio," and like it goes on
Yeah,
forever
yeah, I remember that because I would sit there and listen to that. I'm like, what is this?
because
It's
it's
just
like all recorded, and I think it's like mostly improv by this like.
just a radio.
Would it be fair to say lolly without getting flagged? Because she
Well,
has a
that's
very
what well,
lolly
more like
voice.
she's just a schoolgirl.
Yeah, like
Maybe
pure
you can't
young.
use that term too much. You're gonna get taken down. But
Hmm.
Well, I guess we were gonna get taken down because we said a bad word, so it doesn't
We
matter. I
said
guess.
multiple. We talked about gore.
Fine, people get away with it.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
At least we're not going into a forest known for dead people.
Oh, that brings me back, but
Yeah.
off topic.
Off topic.
You want to talk about scary things? The Crooked Man.
Oh yeah, I remember about this one, and this actually brought me to creepypastas as well.
Oh no, we'll have a creepy pasta episode because the Crooked Man is that was another early one of the RPG genre.
Hmm.
I think it was based off of like a nursery rhyme or something, and it was just you play as this guy, not a girl this time. You play as a guy
Yeah.
actually he moves into an apartment and starts having some bizarre hauntings, and then he has to go and he gets haunted by this Crooked Man, which is essentially just a tall boy whose neck
Bent.
keeps it's bent. Did you say bend?
Yeah, he's bent.
He's bent. He's crooked.
He's flaccid.
He's crooked. Yeah, the neck is like bent in like a U shape, so that's
Yeah.
scary. Um,
It has
I
like
don't remember.
Jeff the Killer like smiles an eye, if I remember.
Oh yeah,
Or just
exactly.
like
Like
the
it was
teeth and
definitely
stuff.
designed. Oh, this will be scary kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Again,
I mean,
I want to save creepypastas. Or we should save
we'll
creepypastas for the Halloween episode.
we will. Is the Crooked Man a creepy pasta?
No, it's based
I
on a
mean,
nursery rhyme and it's a game.
it was a game. It was an okay game. It had an
Hmm.
okay story, but from what I remember, like you had to like fight him at some points, and it was just awful because
Yeah.
you like have to figure like you just have to know like play it with a guide or something, and that's also on Steam.
Hmm.
I don't. Yeah. Um. You have anything else to say on the Crooked Man? Because I'm really
Um,
out of steam on. I don't know. I just
Other
wanted to
than
bring
he's
it up.
very flaccid and he looks funny, not really.
Kind of like Slender Man vibes, where it's like, is
Yeah.
he scary? Not really. I mean, kind of.
In
If
an
you want to be like
abstract way,
that.
he's scary.
He's weird because his neck is weird.
Yeah.
Um.
But I'm
Well,
weird, but does that make me scary?
Eh, yeah, all right. It's a coin flip.
Yeah. One more horror game that I have on my list that
I've
I
got
forgot to
one
talk
too.
about was
So,
Ib.
yeah, that's the one. Damn, that's the one.
It's the artistic one where you're in an art gallery and then everything goes funky.
Horribly wrong. Ib is the one. That's the one that if you're like, oh, there's so many things that these guys are recommending for me to play. Ib is the one that I want you to check out the most
Yeah.
because if you haven't seen it, it's got like it's this
Puzzle game.
puzzle. It's horror done right with not excessive gore. I don't even want to spoil any of it. Honestly, just if you haven't played Ib, go play it.
Can I say one
It's
thing that I love about the game that
the
might be a spoiler?
soundtrack.
Um, most of the enemies and things around you are based on the art that you see in the beginning of the
Yeah,
game.
you're in an art gallery. It's and everything that wants to get you is like statues or paintings and things like that. It's
Hmm.
cool. It's super unique.
And like at the beginning, it's like kind of dull and drab, and then like once everything goes awry, it starts like mutating into like this weird abstract Picasso like painting.
Yeah, like it's a beautiful mess. I love Ib like a fiery passion.
Hmm.
It's great. You meet characters and like I said, the soundtrack is awesome because it's this like I don't even know, it's a mix of like orchestral like kind of piano and then guitar. Like oh, it's good. It's very nice for an RPG Maker game. It raised the standard substantially.
Hmm.
I really love Ib.
Yeah.
Ib. I
Ib.
say Ib
Yeah.
because it's IB. It's
Yeah.
literally spelled that way. Um, I
Wonderful
don't.
game.
I don't think it's on Steam. If it's not, I know that I know that there's like a Japanese site that hosts it because I got it recently again.
Yeah.
Um, find it.
Yeah.
Ib is classic. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I wish it got a re-release.
Me too, but like where it's standing now, it's still beautiful, so it still kind
It's
of
still
holds
great.
up.
I don't want them to redo it. More
Mhm.
like I just want them to do the Yume Nikki thing and just put it on Steam.
Yeah, put on Steam, and yeah,
No, Ib is fantastic. It is definitely the capstone of the RPG Maker games. I think,
it's
at
one of the
least.
reasons why you love RPG horror as well.
Oh, it was one of the first. It was like after Mad Father, I found out like, wow, this is fantastic. Even when I was like a dumb kid, I was
Yeah.
like, this is great. I know this. I like this. Very good.
One more thing I just want to say, like, just like as like a final like end notes for this was,
Yeah, sure, because I'm all
um,
out.
I appreciate like all this that like because we grew up on these games,
Absolutely, yes.
and one could say it inspired like us to do our own things, and for me it's like my stupid sense of humor as well as my almost weirdly creative ideas that I have, like
Yeah, definitely.
how Mega Man Sprite Game was kind of one of the reasons why I'm making my own musical during this pandemic.
You're implying that Mega Man Sprite Game has inspired you to make a musical?
Not based on Mega Man Sprite Game. It's based on the Saw series, but it has like that
Oh
same
my
like
god, you are
shit.
doing Saw the Musical,
It's
aren't
that
you?
same shit post idea.
Oh god, I forgot about that. You pitched that in high school.
Yeah,
And
and here I am,
all right,
university.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that another day.
We'll talk
Saw the
about our
Musical will be
yeah,
glorious.
yeah.
It'll be
I
amazing.
almost name dropped myself. Thankfully, I didn't.
No, no, it'll be fine. No, but you're right. No, RPG Maker games definitely did have an impact, because it was a culture shock, honestly, because a lot of the horror ones came from Japan, because RPG Maker has its roots there, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a Japanese program.
yeah, I mean, it works. It's fine. It's good. We got great things from it. Yume Nikki, it's not even any dialogue in it, but it's got an English translation.
Yeah,
Like Ib, Mizao, Madfather, those I don't think Ib's on Steam, but all the other ones they are. If you look up like RPG Maker on Steam, you'd be surprised at what you can. I think you can even get the program through Steam
yes, you
and make
can.
your own if you want. I mean,
I've
I'm not much
had
for that.
I've had thoughts about making my own RPG Maker games based on like friends,
It's a little
but not like in
expensive
a
there.
not in a horror aspect. I'm not gonna put you in a trap and be like, "Hey, you have to kill yourself. Have fun."
Maybe
That'd be
that'd be a funny joke.
yeah, it'd be like a funny haha. But no, I appreciate what it has done for us and what it's done for the community.
No, yeah. It's
I
definitely had an
yeah,
impact.
I think it's like one of the inspirations behind like the legendary game that we might have our own topic about, Undertale.
Oh God. Now we'll have an Undertale episode.
Yeah.
It will definitely off has some weird connections to Undertale on top of a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's they led into something definitely.
Yeah.
And
It
yeah,
went
who
into
knows
our
where we'd be
hearts,
without him.
and
What's that?
it went into our hearts, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
where it shall remain.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that famous Mega Man B-ball basketball spaghetti.
I don't know. Maybe yours is Mega Man, but I'm still saying Ebe. If you
Yeah,
haven't played it, do it.
yeah, Abe's
Anyway,
absolutely in my
we're
heart.
repeating ourselves here,
Mm-hmm.
so let's wrap this up.
Yeah. So that has been our episode on RPG Maker games on the Karmotrine Lounge. I was your host, Cherry Bomb.
And I was Eyeball. And remember, putting out more episodes. Stay tuned to the Karmotrine Lounge and hey, maybe subscribe and figure out what you want and we'll put out more content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you later.
Yep.
Maybe on the next episode.
Yep. Whatever that will be.
Yeah.
Have a good one, folks.
Yeah.